This amazing story begins with a man continuously entering a room. The man is holding a gun, and inside the room, a child named Cody is peacefully sleeping on his bed. The man aims the gun at the child to kill him. Suddenly, the man hears a voice from behind in the room, which makes him panic and fire a shot in that direction. Hearing the commotion, Cody wakes up immediately and looks at the man. For some reason, the man starts crying in front of Cody, as if he regrets something. The scene fades to black. Next, we see a couple named Jesse and Mark inside an orphanage. They have come to adopt a child for their family. Unfortunately, Jesse and Mark had a child who died a few years ago from drowning in a bathtub. This incident left both Jerry and Mark in deep depression, causing them to doubt themselves, thinking that their negligence led to their child's death. However, they now want to overcome this situation together, which is why they came to the orphanage to adopt a good child. The orphanage manager shows them pictures of many children and tells them about each one. When Jesse and Mark see a picture of a very cute child, they realize it is none other than Cody, the same child we saw at the beginning of the story. Jesse and Mark start asking more about this child. The manager informs them that Cody's mother died of cancer a few years ago, and he was previously adopted by another family, but they abandoned him. Jesse and Mark feel very positively about Cody, so they decide to adopt him. After completing all the paperwork, they take Cody home. Jesse and Mark are especially happy because Cody already has a respectful demeanor. He does everything in a very respectful manner, just the way they wanted their son to behave. It feels to Jesse and Mark as if their deceased son has returned, filling the void left by the absence of a daughter. Cody is now also settled in, and they have enrolled him in school, where he makes a female friend. One night, as Cody is about to sleep, he asks Jesse a question. "I have strange nightmares every night, and they scare me a lot." Jesse explains to him that nightmares are not real, and if he wakes up, those nightmares will disappear. They have no relation to reality. Therefore, he shouldn't be afraid and should sleep peacefully. Cody listens to Jesse's advice and goes to sleep. Meanwhile, Jesse and Mark are sitting in the hall watching TV when suddenly, a lot of butterflies enter their home. These butterflies are of different colors and look quite beautiful. Jesse and Mark know that Cody loves butterflies, so Mark tries to catch one. The couple enjoys the scene as if they have returned to their childhood. However, shortly after, Cody wakes up, causing all the butterflies in the room to disappear. Even the butterfly Mark had caught vanishes into thin air. They don't understand how this is happening. If so many butterflies had come to this place, how could they vanish like this? It seems to them like an illusion, so they decide to go back to sleep. The next day, Mark notices that Cody is continuously staring at a frame. The picture in the frame is of none other than Jesse, Mark, and their deceased son, Sean. Cody asks Mark, "Who is that boy?" Mark then explains, "That was our son, Sean, but he is no longer in this world." Later that night, Cody goes back to sleep, and once again, he gets lost in his dream world. A butterfly comes and lands on Mark's hand, startling them again. Suddenly, as Jesse looks in another direction, she is completely shocked. She calls Mark over, and together they look, discovering that their deceased son, Sean, is standing before them. Both Jesse and Mark stood there, touching Sean to confirm he was really there. They were overwhelmed with emotion, having seen their son after so many years. However, they didn't stop to think about how this was possible. Jesse couldn't let go of her son. But just then, Cody woke up, causing Sean to disappear once again. Both Jesse and Mark were startled, wondering why these things were happening to them and who was causing it. After waking, Cody told them, "I dreamed about Sean." Mark and Jesse understood that whatever Cody dreamed about would manifest into reality. Since Cody loved butterflies, they had appeared in the room. He had also learned about Sean, so he dreamt of him, and an image of Sean had turned real. To help Cody understand, Jesse and Mark showed him video clips of their son Sean, wanting to convey how happy he had been with them. Cody watched everything attentively, learning many things about Sean. When he went to sleep that night, he thought about Sean, which is what Jesse and Mark had suspected would happen. While Cody dreamed of Sean, Sean would come into reality, and both parents showered him with love, especially Jesse, who missed her son dearly and didn't want to lose him again after finally having him back. However, they both knew that this was not possible in reality. But for the sake of temporary purpose, they could spend time with their son. Because of this, Jesse always told Cody to think about Sean, so whenever Cody slept, his son Sean would come to life. But one day, Cody started having nightmares about a dangerous creature, which then transformed into reality and began to frighten him. Cody hadn't told Mark and Jesse about these nightmares. Mark understood that these things couldn't coexist, they were just illusions. In a way, Jesse was using Cody. To keep his son in front of him, Mark removed all the photo frames related to his son, ensuring that nothing like this would happen again. The next day, Cody is shown at school, happily making his way to class. However, a bully approaches him and begins to harass him. Despite this, Cody doesn't tell anyone about it and endures the torture. After class, Cody feels very sleepy, so he rests his head on his desk and falls asleep. As soon as he dozes off, the creature from his nightmares comes to life, appearing in reality and begins attacking the bully who had tried to torment Cody. The skeletal creature violently beats the boy and makes him disappear. A female friend of Cody's witnesses all this and starts screaming. Shortly after, Cody wakes up, causing the skeletal creature to vanish. However, Cody has no idea that his tormentor has now disappeared, hidden away by the skeletal creature. For a few days, no one has any idea that the boy is missing. Cody's mind is preoccupied with these events, making it difficult for him to sleep at night. When Jessie learns that Cody is unwell, she takes him to the doctor, who prescribes sleeping pills. Jessie mixes the medication in milk and gives it to Cody, who peacefully falls asleep. But this turns out to be a big mistake, as Cody will now experience nightmares to the fullest. In front of Jessie and Mark, their son Sean appears, whom Cody is currently dreaming about. However, as they approach their son Sean, he transforms into the skeletal creature. Both Mark and Jessie are terrified to see this dangerous creature and begin to flee. The creature attacks Mark and injures Jessie. Mark desperately tells his wife to go to another room, but the skeletal creature, possessing great powers, grabs Mark and uses black magic to make him disappear. The creature then moves toward Jessie. Due to all the noise, Cody woke up, which ended his nightmares, and the skeletal creature also vanished. However, the most concerning issue was that they had no idea where Mark had gone. Jessie couldn't understand anything and immediately called the police officers. When the officers arrived, they began their investigation but found no sign of Mark anywhere in the house. Everything was scattered, leading the police to suspect that Jessie must have killed Mark and hidden him away. They thought she wasn't taking proper care of her son, Cody, so he was separated from Jessie and placed in a safe location. Meanwhile, Jessie was very tense because her husband had gone missing. She began to have suspicions about what Cody might be capable of. To find out, she called the manager of the orphanage to ask about Cody, but the manager flatly refused and advised her not to call. However, Jessie was not one to remain calm in this situation. Even though her son was presumed dead, her husband meant everything to her, and it was her duty to find him. Thus, Jessie secretly went to the orphanage and stole all the documents related to Cody. She started investigating in detail to find some information about him. During her research, Jessie learned about a family that had previously adopted Cody. She decided to contact them to clarify everything, so she went to meet them. When she arrived, she met the man who had adopted Cody, the same man we saw at the beginning of the story. She asked him all about Cody, and he revealed that it was because of Cody that his wife had gone missing, just like Jessie's husband. The skeletal creature from Cody's nightmares had attacked his wife as well, and these incidents would continue as long as Cody kept dreaming. Jessie then asked the man how they could save their loved ones who had disappeared. The man simply replied that as long as Cody was alive, these events were not going to end. However, I had also tried to kill Cody, but you have a good chance to stop everything by killing him. But Jessie couldn't do that because, even though Cody was not her biological child, she loved him like her own after all the time they had spent together. Jessie thought she would find another way, so she began investigating even more deeply. Jessie went into Cody's room to check his belongings. After searching for a while, she found a butterfly toy and a book that might have belonged to Cody's mother. Inside the book were many writings, and Jessie started reading them. Now, we see Cody in the orphanage, sitting alone. He wasn't even sleeping because he knew that if he fell asleep, that dangerous creature would return. However, the orphanage staff gave him an injection to help him sleep, and his nightmare began. Jessie, having completed her investigation, arrived at the orphanage and felt a bit more confident. She decided that she would free Cody from all this in any way she could. As she was slowly entering, she began to hear some noises. She saw that the orphanage staff was being held captive by something unknown, which was none other than the skeletal creature that had emerged from Cody's nightmares. Jessie saw her husband and the missing boy entangled in strange things, but instead of saving them, she headed toward Cody's room. A moment later, right in front of her, the same skeletal creature appeared, looking very angry and charging toward Jessie. However, Jessie wasn't afraid at all. As the skeletal creature got closer, Jessie held out the butterfly toy in her hands, causing the creature to stop and stare at the toy. In that moment, Jessie realized that this creature was none other than Cody himself, who had somehow connected all these events. The skeletal creature became completely calm. Jessie embraced him, and the creature completely melted into Cody, transforming him because Jessie had turned that moment into a positive one. At that moment, Cody was not thinking any bad thoughts, so his nightmares transformed into good things. Jesse then began to take Cody out of the orphanage. All the people who had been killed by the skeletal creature were freed and came back to life, including Jesse's husband. Once home, Jesse took good care of Cody. For now, she put him to sleep comfortably, and this time the skeletal creature didn't appear at all. The next morning, Jesse gave Cody a book, which belonged to his mother, who had written it before she got cancer. When Jesse read the book, everything became clear to her. When Cody's mother gave birth to him, she had known from the start that whatever nightmares Cody had would become reality. She considered this an extra ability that made him different from other children. Everything was going well, and Cody was growing up quickly, but life always has its ups and downs. One day, Cody's wife discovered that she had brain cancer, which brought a halt to her vibrant life because, at that time, treating brain cancer was extremely difficult, and almost every patient diagnosed with it was destined to die. This pushed Cody's mother into a deep depression. Though her treatment was ongoing, there was no hope. Seeing his mother so sad, Cody began to feel strangely uneasy, which led him to stop thinking good thoughts. Whatever he thought would result in nightmares of that nature. Within a few years, his mother's brain cancer advanced so much that she had only a few days left to live. When Cody went to see his mother in the hospital, all her hair had been removed, and her face looked quite terrifying. When Cody saw his mother's face, he took that image to heart. The actual truth was that the face of the skeletal creature Cody saw in his nightmares looked eerily similar to his mother's face. It was indeed the face of his mother that he had been relating to all this time. Cody's mother passed away shortly after, and he kept all those sorrowful memories locked away in his mind. Cody had transformed that entire moment of fear into a dangerous creature, which then became a reality and harmed others. However, things began to look up now because Jesse had eliminated the fear residing in Cody's mind, filling it with positive thoughts so that he would never remember those troubling memories again. Now, Jesse treated Cody like her own son and told him different kinds of stories. These stories were beautiful, so that Cody could see only good things and remain happy. All the people who had disappeared returned as well. That included Jesse's husband Mark, the old man's wife, and the missing child. Jesse and Mark accepted Cody as their own child. Even though Cody had unusual powers, he felt like their child, and they decided to keep him with them. This way, they formed a lovely family, and our story comes to an end here.